Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know. Probably have a better
No, well, it was.
Got rid of that.
It actually leads to because there has been I don't know if they were just yes, that's a big solution.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. Very exciting service for you. Our first song is in two parts. Will you throw the lyrics up there, Mike? As you see, there's one part on the left side, one part on the right side, and it's kind of like a choose-your-own adventure. So I'm gonna teach you both parts. The first part, the basses are gonna lead us in. Basses, give it a try. 1, 2. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. We'll try it together? You do, I can see it. 2, 3. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. There's a rest there. Sing to the power of the faith within. If you want to snap your fingers, it helps. It helps. Good. And so the second part that the tenors and sopranos and altos will be singing goes like this. 3, 4. Sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the faith within. The rest is still there in that part too. Let's try it together. 3, 4. Sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the faith within. And now you get to pick. You get to pick whichever one you want. Left side, right side. You could switch in the middle. No one will know. Right? You see, it's your whole thing. You try. Let's rise in body or in spirit. Try the whole tune. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the faith within. Now let us sing to the power of the hope within. Sing to the power of the hope within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the hope within. Now let us sing to the power of the love within. Sing to the power of the love within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the love within. Now let us sing of the joy within. Sing to the power of the joy within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid to sing to the power of the joy within. So happy you are here. It is the best place to be in Atlanta, Georgia on a Sunday morning.
Good morning, everyone. That was nice. Thank you. So welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, a beloved community that changes lives. I'm Sonia Tinsley Hook, and I'm so glad you're here this morning. Wherever you are from and whomever you love, you are welcome here. If this is your first time, or if you've not yet had a chance, please stop by our Welcome Center in the social hall after the service to allow us to get to know you a little better. You can sign up to receive information about services and programs being presented over the next several weeks. If you'd like to learn more about UUCA and its programs, please join the always fascinating Inquirers group. They will meet after service today from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. in room 1 off of the social hall. This week, the Inquirer's topic is Membership 101 and Congregational Life. Meanwhile, from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m., the same time, right here in the sanctuary, this week's adult religious education class will be treating the subject of empowerment and the experience of birth. Today's talk will be led by nurse midwife Kay Johnson and maybe doula Christine Strain, who had to go deliver a baby. So, very authentic experience there, right? Exactly. The talk will explore the American medical model of pregnancy and childbirth care, as well as its effect on the inherent dignity and worth of women and families. And now, please be sure to take this moment to put your cell phone in its most reverent position, which is off. Thank you. So once again, we are very glad you're here with us on this beautiful morning.
This song, the first song we're going to sing this morning, is based on a Zimbabwean proverb. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. I bought this song about 10 years ago. We never sang it because that is some significant ableist language, right? But the truth is that people who can't walk can absolutely dance, right? Many people who can't talk or who stutter a lot can sing absolutely beautifully. But the depth of this proverb, the idea that stop telling yourself what you can't do, speaks to this sermon very strongly. So here this song is by a UU composer, Elizabeth Alexander. If you can walk, you can dance. You can talk, you can sing.
If you walk, then you can dance. You can dance if you walk. If you walk, then you can dance. You can dance if you walk. If you walk, then you can dance. You can dance if you walk. If you walk, then you can dance. You can dance.
If you can walk, you can dance.
Yes, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. If you can walk, then you can dance.
Then you can
Talk, then you can sing. Walk, then you can dance.
Yes, you can.
Talk, then you can sing. If you can walk, then you can dance. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. If you can walk,
So please join me in saying the chalice lighting words together. You can find them printed in your order of service or up on the screens. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
The light of this chalice. The light of our chalice is also a light of friendship and community. Let us take a minute to greet each other with a handshake or a hug.
Everyone will be watching me, wondering why I'm there.
My brain just doesn't work like that.
I just can't take the disappointment.
We can't all just follow our bliss.
I'm scared.
Nobody in my family is athletic.
I'll make too many mistakes.
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. So how often do you tell yourself that you can't do something? How often do we decide it's not for us before we even give it a try? What excuses do you tell yourself so you don't commit to something that might make your life better? Let us let the fear burn away. Let us unfurl our wings to new possibilities. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will
beautiful. How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Let us put hands upon hearts to feel the warm connection in that gesture, to let love in this moment flow. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love will heal the world. At this time, we share a great joy in our congregation. Henry Cappy Ricks, longtime UUCA member, turned 101 years old yesterday. We are so lucky for all that Cappy has brought to our congregation over his decades and decades here. At this time, I invite you to say aloud the names of people you are holding in your heart this morning. As humans have gathered for millennia, so we gather on this day to gently surrender to something beyond ourselves, to humbly acknowledge our mistakes, to ask forgiveness, to seek hope and renewal, to honor the earth that supports and sustains life, to remember that all beings are inextricably and mysteriously connected. Now, we still our bodies and we still our minds. We take a big breath and we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter together into the wise silence.
arrived in my hands, and I thought I would model it. So, hey, stay tuned. Well, here it is. It's the new school library in Teacher Monte, Ghana, which we have named Pathways to Freedom. It was built with village labor, with the money that UUCA raised last year, led by our UUCA high school youth. We were just outside a few minutes ago taking a picture, because when you see the last picture, we're going to do another picture for the new library that's very much like that, and it's going to have our UUCA high school youth. When we were posing for the picture, the guy Roger Easley said, "Well, what shall we say? So make sure everybody's smiling." And they said, "Sandwiches." So the building is almost finished. It's ready to be filled with books, and that's where we come in today. Today's offering will buy the books to fill its shelves. Most of the books that need to be purchased for the library need to be purchased in Ghana with money, so that the teachers can select the books that they want to match their curriculum. So that's where the money goes today. All the books that you have been donating will soon be on their way to Ghana by ship to add to the library's book collection. So all the books will get mingled together soon. So these pictures, the next pictures, these were taken from the original Encheni library dedication, which, we funded that library in 2006. So just seeing these pictures will kind of give you a sense of, what's happening in Ghana with the money that we have sent. So the next slides are pictures that were taken just in the last year, still in Encheni, but it gives you a sense that, the library is well used. So these pictures in Encheni, Teacher Monte is just 5 miles away. And so they're related to each other, these libraries, so that one can serve the other and they can share customers, if you will. I wanted to just share the story that George Aite, who is from Ghana and worked with me on the first Ghana project, said, he said, if you can fund a library for this village, you should do it. Do it. Education that you're making possible for these children will change their lives forever. George said, I grew up in a village like this one. You will make a difference. And so the postscript to that story is George Aite is Dr. George Aite, and he's an economics professor at American University in Washington, D.C. So write a big check and send lots of books to Ghana. And if it's okay with you, I'll just say the offering will be given and gratefully received.
This song is by a 20th century composer, one of the most famous 20th century choral composers, Randall Thompson. It's a setting of the Robert Frost poem, Choose Something Like a Star, something to focus on, to stay our minds on so we can be stayed. It says, and when at times the mob is swayed to carry praise or blame too far, we may choose something like a star to stay our minds.
Since the
good. I know, right? There are millions of possible projects like this all over the world, millions of them. And it does not take away the fact that us doing these projects are important. Right? 5 years ago, we built a building at an orphanage in Northeast India that is changing lives. These libraries are changing lives. It is a privilege for us to be able to help others in this way, and we are very grateful for your giving.
Yes. What a joy to send these funds out into the world to do their great work. So please join me joyfully in the dedication of this offering, which is found in your order of service or on the screens. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings.
So I'm good at games. Card games, board games, skill games, they just kind of work in my brain. I pick them up quickly, I devise a strategy, and I win games most of the time, to the annoyance of my friends. Some things in life are just like that. We all have the things that we're inherently pretty good at. New activities where some previous skills or previous abilities easily apply, and it feels good. Jumping into a new activity and already feeling like you can be successful. Recently, I went axe throwing with some friends in Michigan. This is a new fad all over the country. You have some drinks, you throw some hatchets. Very safe. So my friends and I get there early. We're watching other people throw axes, and I thought, whoa, I'm going to be great at this. So we get the tutorial, you get an extensive safety talk, and we start playing, and it turns out I am really bad at throwing axes, just not a skill. We threw probably about 25 times in the hour, and more than half of them just bounced off. And the ones that did stick in the board were rarely anywhere close to a target. I still had a good time, but I'm sure I would have had a better time if I was just good at it, right? If it had come to me naturally. Now, axe throwing is decidedly low stakes, right? No, there's no betting. Nobody looked at me differently or lost respect for me because I couldn't accurately throw an axe into a board. There are places in life where being good at something like your job, like taking care of others or finances, where these things are really important. But I'm not talking about those things today. We're talking about things that have the potential to enrich your life in little ways or big ways that we avoid because we're not good at them and don't want to go through the struggle. When we approach something new that doesn't come to us easily, we have some decisions to make. Right? The first decision is, do I need to be better at this to enjoy it? And maybe not, right? Some things are just about process and not product. There are plenty of people who are terrible at playing golf. They love playing golf, and their being terrible does not change how they feel about their experience. There are so many activities like that, and if you're not inherently good at something, but love doing it that way, keep doing it. Fantastic. Another question arises, though, when we aren't instantly good at something, which is it worth it? Will improving at this activity enrich my life, my community, or the world around me? For instance, I'm terrible at golf. No matter what club it is, driver to pitching wedge, I hit it about 50 yards forward and 50 yards to the right, usually onto like another hole or a road or something. Early in college, on occasion, I would play golf with my friends who were also really bad at golf. And that was fun. But they decided they wanted to get better. So they were going to the driving range, they took some private lessons, they were playing more regularly. But the time and expense that it would have taken to be good at golf, to improve my golf game, just wasn't worth it to me. So I stopped. A decidedly different story. In college, I was the assistant conductor of an 80-voice collegiate choir, And one week, the director was away, so I had a full 2-hour rehearsal all to myself. So I set up a camera, which is normal when your job is waving your arms through the air. And I thought the rehearsal went pretty well. And then the next day, I went home, I tossed in the video, and I watched it, and I was bad. My gestures, they were all over the place. My verbal communication was not concise, and I wasn't making the choir better. I was bad at something, but this something was really, really important to me. So I started a choir. I got 12 of my friends together. We did a concert of way too much music that was way too hard. And when I listen back to that recording, there are some really beautiful moments and a lot of not so beautiful moments and some comically bad moments. But I was a better musician at the end of that process. And process is the important word here. I have studied with a lot of top-tier choral conductors in my life, but my most important teachers, without a doubt, have been the choir members here at UUCA. They're not there anymore. They left. We have spent hundreds and hundreds of hours together making art with varying levels of success, but always a lot of joy. We go through the fire together every single week. We pull out a new piece of music, and of course, we're going to be bad at it the first time we read through, right? Of course we are. And then the next time, maybe a few times, we're still going to be bad at it, but we learn it together, and we build skills, long-term skills, along the way. It is a wonderful microcosm of being bad for a short while and then presenting a product to hundreds of people a few days later, as they just did. I am very pleased with how the choir sounds right now. In fact, they sound ludicrously good. They've only had 3 rehearsals this year, and I couldn't be more pleased with what they're doing. Yes. But in our process, we will continue to improve throughout the season. It's just what we do. Like Ira Glass said in the video we watched, sometimes you just need to keep creating and great things happen. This is a short excerpt from a book called Art and Fear, Observations on the Perils and Rewards of Making Art by David Bales and Ted Orion. It says, the ceramics teacher announced on opening day that she was dividing the class into 2 groups. All those on the left side of the studio, she said, would be graded solely on the quantity of the work they produced. All those on the right side would be graded solely on the work's quality. Her procedure was simple. On the final day of class, she would bring in her bathroom scale, weigh the work of the quantity side. 50 pounds or better gets an A, 40 pounds gets a B, and so on. Those on the quality side, however, needed to produce only 1 pot, albeit a perfect one, to get an A. Well, grading time came, and a curious fact emerged. The works of the highest quality, of course, were produced on the quantity side. It seems that while the quantity group was busily turning out piles and piles of work, and in the process learning from their mistakes, the quality group sat theorizing about perfection, and in the end had little more to show for their efforts than grandiose theories in a pile of dead clay. It's a harsh last sentence, I didn't write it. So sometimes UUs get caught in theories. Also, sometimes we forget that even though the average level of intelligence in this room is shockingly high, and it is, that we are going to make mistakes. Early in my career as a choral conductor, I noticed that choirs sight read a brand new piece of music very sheepishly. Everyone is trying to avoid singing wrong notes, to avoid making mistakes at all costs. This is a recipe not only for tight, unhealthy singing, but for fear and anxiety working itself into a choral rehearsal. I've spent over a decade encouraging choirs to read new music boldly. Mistakes be damned, just go for it. I feel like we all have this kind of PTSD from our school experience, from trying to avoid that red X, the lower score, the bad grade. In life, you are going to make mistakes, so stop avoiding them. Make the mistakes with gusto and then fix them. Benjamin Zander, master educator and conductor of the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra, says this. He says, I recommend when you make a mistake, go like this. How fascinating! Want to try it? How fascinating. It's much better because it takes away the ugh we all feel when we make a mistake. Mistakes naturally pull us down. They make us shrink. They make us want to hide and make stank faces. Right? It feels much, much better to go, how fascinating, and then move on. Right? We're going to make mistakes anyway. We might as well be nice to ourselves in the process. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. I just love this proverb, the Zimbabwean proverb. I love its depth. It says, stop overthinking it. Stop telling yourself what you can't do. Stop telling yourself what you can't do. People tell me all the time, people approach me constantly to tell me that they can't sing. When people tell me they can't sing, they're actually saying the wrong thing. What they mean is, I'm not good at singing yet. I'm not good at dancing yet. I'm not good at drawing or public speaking, math, gardening, axe throwing yet. Yet is a powerful word. It is a hopeful word. Maybe you aren't good at the thing. And maybe you don't want to be good at the thing, but it doesn't mean that you can't do the thing. It just means you haven't gone through the struggle yet. One piece of being a welcoming community is that we are a place where people are allowed to make mistakes and still be loved. Allowed to be bad at something, be in the struggle. We can change and grow and love each other through the process part, and we can all work harder on loving ourselves through the process part. All children love to sing. It's only when they hear an adult say, I can't sing, that they think, can I sing? Even worse is when a kid is singing and someone tells them to stop, that they shouldn't sing, that they're too loud, they're off key, they can't carry a tune. Someone kills that joy, that natural, childlike expression, and I know that has happened to many people in this room. When people tell me, oh, you don't want me singing in your choir, which I heard twice today, this morning, I don't hear a funny joke. I hear someone trying to laugh off trauma. Someone telling you you shouldn't do something, especially something you really enjoy, is a traumatic event, and it causes long-term shame. It's not that you can't do it. You just haven't learned how to do it great yet. One struggle for us as a group of progressive people is dealing with progress. The nature of being progressive is that the bar will be moving. That's what progress is. The arc of the moral universe continues to bend towards justice and inclusion, and that is what we want. We want the bar to move, even if sometimes we react poorly to the change, and it makes us cranky. My favorite Christmas carol is called I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. It's a setting of a poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, and every verse ends with peace on earth, goodwill to men. The choir has sung this song many, many times because it's my favorite. And even though I was gently asked often to change the last line to goodwill to all, I didn't for many years. One musical reason is that it is easier for a choir to tune singing the word men, an e vowel with an n at the end, than all, an a vowel with an l at the end. You don't have to know why, it's just true. But I also balked at the idea of changing words from such an esteemed poet. I mean, come on. Of course he meant all when he wrote men. It took me too many years to realize how important representation is. That saying men to mean all is inherently exclusive of more than half of the population. We now sing Peace on Earth to All Goodwill, which fixes the musical issue and fixes the issue that I was woefully blind to for far too long. UUs did a great job getting rid of the patriarchal language in our hymnals, right? When readings or hymns used brothers or men to refer to everyone, we changed it to brothers and sisters, or women and men. We took the word Lord and put a whole bunch of other words in its place. Sometimes, by changing the text, we took out so much of the poetic cadence, so much of the poetic beauty, that the readings and songs are no longer useful. Casualties in the quest for equality. Okay. Now, we're being asked to use even more inclusive language when we just got used to the change. Progress. It's great. The target will keep moving. I still struggle with our hymn, We'll Build a Land. We changed the text to, Come build a land where siblings and sages, in place of, where sisters and brothers. I struggle with it because sisters and brothers carries a certain amount of poetic weight, right? And because it's familiar. Familiar is always easier, but sometimes we need to struggle with something for a while because it not only serves us, it serves our community, and it serves the wider world. Using gender non-binary language is tricky because most of us haven't been taught to do it well yet. We use singular they and them all the time. People who are gender non-binary use they, them pronouns, and we use singular they, them. Hey, who's delivering your pizza? They are. If we don't know if it's a man or a woman, we just say they all the time. It's just bringing that into other times in our lives. We also say they are as a singular. They are, not they is. I learned this from a gender non-binary person who helped me with my well-meaning bit of ignorance. You see, intelligent, caring people will make mistakes. They will, and they will, and they will, and you will, and I will. And we can continue to try to change and do better because that's what progress looks like. Being exclusive is easy if everyone in the room is the same. If we all believe the same thing, it is easy not to offend each other. It's easy not to struggle. But here, we welcome differences and we encourage them. And by that very nature, we are going to struggle and make mistakes and try to do better. How fascinating! We can actively support each other in the struggle instead of beating each other back, instead of calling each other to the mat every time we make a mistake. It is hard work, and we are going to be bad for a while. And the target's going to move, and we're going to be bad for a while again, and we're going to keep trying. We're going to dig into the struggle, the frustration. We're going to grow. We're going to change. Our lives and our community will be enriched in the process. May we have permission to be bad. May we always be kind to each other in the struggle. May it be so. Thanks. Now to get past that thing where I can't, our final hymn is called I Know I Can. Please rise in body or in spirit. Troubles wait at every turn. I know I can go on sorrow heals my soul, and burdens make me strong. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know that I can go on. My sister in my heart, my brother in my song. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know that I can go on. And though the journey is long, the destination is near. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know that I can go on. So cousins, take my hand, and siblings, sing my song. When hope awaits at every turn, oh, I know we will go on. Please join hands for the benediction. From Benjamin Zander. Mistakes can be like ice. If we resist them, we may just keep on slipping into a posture of defeat. If we include mistakes in our definition of performance, we are likely to glide through them and appreciate the beauty in the longer run. In the measurement world, you set a goal and you strive for it. In the universe of possibility, you set a context and you let life unfold. Go in peace.
So is he our new preacher? I'm just asking. Doing that?
Have to give Reverend Town today off.
Oh, okay.